to order our regular meeting of the West Valley City Council. We note that we have all members of the council present at our meeting. With that, it is my opportunity tonight to do the opening ceremony. We recently had our Veterans Day, and I had the opportunity to gather a few thoughts for there that I shared and then some that I didn't. And I thought I might share a few comments with you regarding Veterans Day and what it stands for, perhaps in a little different way than you might be used to. It's been my privilege to go to visit a number of battlefields around the U.S. and even a few outside of the country. I've been to the Valley Forge in Yorktown, where the British surrendered during the Revolutionary War, and then in the Civil War. I've been to many of those fields, notably Gettysburg, where there are so many monuments remembering what transpired there, and even where now a cemetery where President Lincoln gave his famous address. And also to that most interesting and perhaps saddest of places, the Bloody Lane at Antietam, where 5,000 American soldiers from both sides of that conflict died in one day. I've also had the opportunity to go to the Philippines, Corregidor, the Malenta tunnels, the mile-long barracks, things that survived from the war in the Pacific. But the most intriguing part was to go to the cemeteries and see there in the Philippines the thousands upon thousands of crosses of soldiers who had been killed in action and buried there. And then even more so, the great stone monuments there and in Punchbowl Cemetery in Hawaii, where the names of so many tens of thousands of more are listed, their bodies never recovered, died at sea, buried in the deep, and be then impressed by the many who gave their lives for the freedoms that we enjoy. And I thought about how throughout most of our history we have had conflicts. Not just world wars, but Indian wars back in the early days, and many wars which are by many forgotten today. But I also thought, and if I could use this analogy, as long as the strong on the playground are bullies instead of protectors of the weak, there will be war. As long as there is a lust for power, unlimited greed, or cruelty, there will be war. As long as some consider others as inferior because of their race, their religion, or their culture, there will be war. So to be at peace, we unfortunately must be willing and able to make war, because we must be the protectors of the weak and to stop the strong who become bullies. And we must be ready to protect our homes and our families. So, Veterans Day, the old Armistice Day, the celebration of the end of hostilities in World War I, which was not the end, and there really is no end in sight, certainly not in our current environment, especially with current events in France. So it is not just the veterans that we remember from World War II, but our veterans who are currently serving and putting their lives on the line, and who will do so tomorrow and next month, and unfortunately next year and the year after. And so there is a great price to pay to maintain our liberty and our freedoms, because those situations are not likely to change, at least not as long as man is in charge of man. And so I appreciate, perhaps in even greater detail and understanding, Veterans Day, and those who are willing to go and sacrifice, and who, even when they are not called upon to be in combat, but serve on the weekends, once a month, or for a few weeks in the summer, to be ready when they are needed. It is a part of our society. Though we would wish it were different, it is what we have. And we certainly salute those and appreciate those who provide that service. With that, I would invite you to stand with me as we say the pledge and tonight honor those many veterans.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next on our agenda are the approval of the minutes of November 3rd. To the council, if you have a motion.
Mayor, I move for approval of the minutes.
Thank you. Second. We have a second. It's properly before us. Any discussion, any changes? The minutes all right? If so, then we'll proceed with the vote. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. The minutes are approved. Next on our agenda is our public comment period. We have a couple of people who are here who have signed up to speak tonight. Excuse me. So we simply remind you 5 minutes total, or not to exceed that. And first of all, we have Mr. Paul Nichols, and we would invite you to come forward.
Paul C. Nichols, 5329 West, 4100 South. I'm here about the traffic again. Mr. Powell says you've got more officers. I haven't seen any more officers. I heard 3 this morning at 1:30, but not when the traffic's heavy. The other morning, it took me 15 minutes to get out of my driveway. And he says you put more officers in, but I don't see them. I'm up at 5:30 every morning. In the summertime, helping Corey's dad. We're out there at 7 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, and when you set your clock, one goes by. So he said they got more officers. I haven't seen them, so I don't know what else I can say. I'd like to see it slow down a little bit, but I don't know where it's going to come from. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next we have David Reed. Is that Mr. Reed standing in the hall, or David Reed?
No.
He must have decided not to stay. Anyone else here for public comment? Okay, with that, thank you. That completes that portion. We go next to our city manager. Any comments tonight?
No, sir, thanks. Is that not working?
It doesn't.
I could yell louder.
No, it just doesn't sound like that microphone is working. Okay, so we'll just be aware of that if you have any comments later. To the council then, any comments? All right. Then we go now to item 7, our public hearings. We begin with application S-23-2015, Bart Warner requesting approval to amend some lots and in the West Valley Truck Center subdivision at 2374 South, 5370 West. Let's see. I didn't review this again, but that was where they realigned, was it 4 parcels? The 4 parcels, and it was just to make them more usable for current circumstances.
Yes, sir, there are 4 parcels that are kind of in a rectangular shape, and they're
Yeah.
basically shifting the 2 property lines that run north and south over a little bit.
Yeah. So, and that was to accommodate current utility easement requirements, I believe.
Included the utility easements, that's right.
And so that is the issue that we will be addressing. So with that, we will now open it for public comment or a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this issue regarding this application? Okay, neither one of you, so. Okay. With that then, we will close the public hearing, and we will now go to ordinance 15-35, which is our method of addressing that application to amend those lots in the West Valley Truck Center subdivision to the council for comment or action.
Mayor, move for approval of ordinance 1535.
And we have a second. It is properly before us. Any further comments or discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to our recorder for a roll call vote.
Councilman Vincent?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lang?
Yes.
Councilman Bueller?
Aye.
Councilman Hune?
Aye.
Councilman Rushton?
Aye.
Councilman Norfelt?
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Next, we go to application S-24-2015, filed by David Reed, who was going to be here to speak, requesting final plat approval for the Moulton Farm Phase 3 subdivision. This is at 4420 South, 3600 West. And I don't think we need to belabor that. This is right in front of the other subdivision that we had recently approved, and that construction and work is going on there. This will take care of that lot that is, the way I would term it, closer to the street than on the street. So, with that introduction then, we will open that for public comment. Seeing no public comment in a public hearing on that issue, I was just hoping Mr. Reed might walk in. I think he wanted to speak on it. So we will close. Oh, we won't close just yet. Are you Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Reed, you just barely got here in time.
Did I? I'm sorry.
If you would come forward, we have open public comment on the application S-24-2015 for the property there in the Moulton Farm Phase 2.
Okay, I apologize. It seems like a good opportunity to add 3 beautiful homes to West Valley City, right along 3600 West. And it's part of the process also of rehabilitating and restoring the house on the corner also. Now that we have the survey and engineering complete, so we know what size the lot's going to be, we can move forward with the planning and architecture to improve that home also. It'll be both a restoration and a remodel with an addition. So, and we're anxious to get going with it. We think it'll be a great addition to your city.
And all, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
Don't see any, so.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you. Seeing no further public comment, then we will close the public hearing and we will come back to the council. And just with a note that these are items for those listening in and here that we have discussed previously and asked questions on. So if we don't ask questions, we probably don't have. We had them answered last week. And so we will now turn to the council for comment or action.
I move for approval application number S-24 -2015, which is ordinance 15-36. Correct?
Yes.
Second the motion.
Second is there. We have it properly before us. We are actually considering this ordinance 1536, I think is the one we will be voting on. So I don't think we can vote on the application, can we? Yeah, so just want to make sure. Every time I think I have this all understood, I'm reminded that I don't. So, any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, then we will place that for a vote. We turn to our city recorder for a roll call vote.
Councilman Nordfeld,
Yes.
Councilman Rushton,
Aye.
Councilman Hune,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Link,
Yes.
Councilman Vincent,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Next, we have on our agenda to convene as a board of canvassers for the municipal general election held November 3rd, 2015. Now, I need a little coaching here so that we do this. Do we need to convene separately or do anything different other than to just present this and vote?
That's correct, sir. Just consider it as a resolution.
Okay. So then, I believe that copies of that document are available to all of you. Those listening in, an updated copy was placed on the website, so if you checked earlier and didn't find it, you will find it there now. And this is simply to, as is our responsibility, to certify the results of the election as they have been provided to us by Salt Lake County. With that then, to the council for comment or action.
Mayor, I would, as this election was conducted with, in the limits of the law, and we've lived up to all that, had, candidates run and positions be voted for, and our residents of our city go and vote. I would say that with these results coming to us from the county clerk, that we should approve Resolution 15-187 and accept and approve the results of the municipal election.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, it's properly before us. Any further comment? Seeing no further comment, then we'll place it for a vote. We'll turn to our recorder for a roll call vote.
Councilman
Excuse me, wait.
Vincent,
Yes.
Councilwoman Link,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Rushton,
Aye.
Councilman Nordfeld,
Yes.
Mayor Bigelow.
Aye. And that was a vote on resolution number 15-187. I think I forgot to get that in there. So I just want to make sure the record is clear that that's what the vote was on, and the council is all clear that that's what they were voting on. So that motion passed. There is not a need for an executive session. I think that completes our scheduled business. Any further comments? If no further comments, then one last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned.